Jordan sat near the window of the cafe, checking his phone for the third time in 5 minutes. The table was small, tucked into the corner where the light came in soft and golden. He'd chosen it carefully. A good spot. Quiet, but not too isolated. He wanted this to go well. It had been 2 years since his brother died. 2 years since he'd felt like himself. Dating felt strange now, like stepping back into a world that had kept moving while he stood still. But his best friend had pushed him. You can't keep living like this, man. Just try. So he'd agreed to the blind date. A woman named Marissa. They'd exchanged a few messages. She seemed kind. Real. His phone buzzed. Hey, Jordan. I'm so sorry. I can't make it tonight. Something came up. I hope you understand. He stared at the words until they blurred. He set the phone down and let out a slow breath. It wasn't anger he felt, just a tired sort of disappointment. He'd known it was too soon. Maybe he wasn't ready either. He paid for the coffee he hadn't touched and walked outside. The evening air was cool, and the parking lot stretched wide and empty under the dimming sky. He was halfway to his car when he heard it, a soft, broken sound. Crying. He stopped, looked around. A woman sat on the curb beside a small blue hatchback, her face buried in her hands. 2 kids sat next to her on the pavement, a boy and a girl, maybe 6 and 8. They weren't crying, but they were quiet in that careful way kids get when they know something's wrong. Jordan hesitated. He didn't want to intrude, but something about the scene pulled at him. The boy looked up and their eyes met. The kid didn't smile, just watched it with a kind of seriousness that felt too old for his age. Jordan walked over slowly. "Excuse me," he said gently. "Are you okay?" The woman looked up, startled. Her eyes were red, mascara smudged. And that's when he recognized her. The profile picture. The smile. Marissa. She stared at him, frozen. Then her face crumpled. "Oh my God, you're Jordan." He nodded. "I'm so sorry." Her voice cracked. "I didn't want to cancel. She glanced at the kids. Their dad was supposed to have them tonight. We planned this a week ago, but he dropped them off 2 hours early with no warning. Said something came up on his end. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't bring them on a first date. I couldn't just leave them. She stopped, pressing her palms to her eyes. "I'm a mess." "I'm sorry." Jordan crouched down, so he was at her level. "Hey, it's okay." "It's not okay," she whispered. "This is exactly why I don't date. Because this is my life. Chaos. Last-minute changes. I can't even get one night." Jordan glanced at the kids again. The girl was holding her brother's hand. They both looked tired. "Have they eaten?" he asked. Marissa blinked. "What?" "The kids. Have they had dinner?" She shook her head. "No. I was going to take them through a drive-thru on the way home." Jordan stood and offered her his hand. "Come on, let's go inside. There's a cafe right here. We'll get them something to eat. You too." She looked at him like she didn't understand. "You don't have to do that." "I know," he said, "but I'm here, and so are you. So let's just start over." Marissa hesitated, then took his hand. Her fingers were cold. The kids followed without a word. Inside, the cafe smelled like warm bread and cinnamon. Jordan found a booth in the back and let the kids slide in first. Marissa sat across from him, still looking shell-shocked. He ordered grilled cheese and fries for the kids, soup for Marissa, and a sandwich for himself. When the food came, the kids ate slowly, watching him with cautious eyes. "I'm Jordan," he said to them, keeping his voice easy. "What are your names?" The girl looked at her mom, who nodded. "I'm Lily," she said quietly. "This is my brother, Ben. Nice to meet you both." Jordan smiled. "You guys like puzzles?" Ben nodded. Jordan pulled out his phone and opened a simple game, sliding it across the table. "You can play that if you want." The boy took it carefully, like it was something precious. Lily leaned over to watch. Marissa stared at Jordan. "Why are you being so nice?" He looked at her. "Because you're having a hard night, and I've had plenty of those." She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "I really didn't want to cancel. I was actually looking forward to meeting you. I was looking forward to meeting you too." "Even now," she asked, glancing at her kids. Especially now, he said, and he meant it. They talked while the kids played. She told him about the divorce, how her ex had become unreliable, how she worked full-time and still barely kept up, how she felt like she was failing at everything. Jordan listened. He didn't try to fix it. He just listened. And then, because it felt right, he told her about his brother, about the accident, about how he'd spent 2 years feeling like he was walking through fog, about how tonight was supposed to be his first step back into the world. "I'm sorry," Marissa said softly. "That's so much to carry." "Yeah," Jordan said, "but I'm still here. And so are you." She smiled for the first time that night. A real smile. Ben looked up from the phone. "Mom," he said, "this is the guy." Marissa frowned. "What?" "The guy from the parking lot. Earlier, he helped the old man." Jordan blinked. "What are you talking about?" Ben pointed at him. "Before, when we got here, there was an old guy who dropped his cane. You picked it up for him, and you talked to him for a while. We saw you." Jordan remembered. An older man near the door, struggling with his cane and a bag of groceries. Jordan had helped him to his car. It had taken maybe 5 minutes. Marissa looked at her son, then at Jordan. "You did that?" Jordan shrugged. "Yeah, it wasn't a big deal." Ben shook his head seriously. "Mom says you can tell if someone's safe by how they treat people when no one's watching." Marissa's eyes filled with tears again, but this time they were different. Softer. "I guess we were watching," she whispered. Jordan didn't know what to say, so he just smiled. They stayed until the cafe started closing. Marissa offered to pay, but Jordan waved her off. Outside, the night was cool and clear. The kids were calmer now, leaning against their mom. "Thank you," Marissa said, "for tonight, for not walking away." "I didn't want to walk away," Jordan said. "Can we try this again?" she asked. "Maybe next week? Without the chaos." Jordan smiled. "I kind of like the chaos." She laughed. A real surprise laugh. "You're weird." "Yeah, I've heard that before." They exchanged numbers, real ones this time, and said goodnight. Jordan watched them drive away, the taillights disappearing into the dark. 3 weeks later, they were at a park. Ben was teaching Jordan how to skip stones. Lily was showing Marissa a flower she'd found. It wasn't perfect. It was messy and complicated and full of uncertainties. But it was real. Marissa had been right about one thing. Sometimes the best beginnings come disguised as broken plans. Sometimes the person you're supposed to meet is the one you almost missed. And sometimes kindness is the only map you need. Jordan didn't know where this was going. But for the first time in 2 years, he wasn't afraid to find out.